Welcome to the S.H.O.P, the social hub of positivity. I'm not in the shop, as you can probably tell, unless you don't know what the S.H.O.P, the social hub, looks like. It's in the wonderful Emery Gate, which coincidentally is having or planning to have a major refit. And having looked at the plans and spoken to the good people of Acorn, I'm more optimistic than not. Out of all the unnecessary building that's gone on around in our town, don't know what it's like in your own, in Chippenham, ours has mainly been dumped on us by profiteering, possibly not just property developers, but I should imagine there's a few people who make decisions who are getting their palms crossed with silver to enable all this absurd amount of destruction of our unnecessary destruction of our locality, our natural environment. There isn't an infrastructure in our town to support the people that are already in it. It hasn't been for a long time. Thanks to the Conservatives and the Lib Dems, bizarrely, the things like the youth service has been destroyed. The youth centre, the Bridge Centre, has been destroyed. In its place is a overgrown car park for council workers. And then we have a multi-million-pound, multi-storey car park that's been built, which hardly anyone uses. Again, voted on and delivered by your incredible councillors. You should look at who actually voted on that and what must have happened for them to agree on that, because it's absurd. Anyway, this wonderful design and new uplift, facelift to Emery Gate is actually possibly one of the more developments that make sense, because let's face it, the Emery Gate shopping centre is nothing to write home about, and certainly nothing to photograph. It is not a place of beauty. Great shops in there, some really good people, but that's not the point. The point is, actually, this redevelopment might be, if all the bits come together, just what the town centre needs. So something that actually looks and feels integrated with its natural environment, as long as it doesn't knock down any trees or impeach or impair the environment around it. If we have shops and restaurants and what have you looking out onto the river, it will be a much, much more attractive proposition. So it's almost a non-brainer. Non-brainer? Don't start with my brainer. It's almost a non-brainer, a no-brainer, if you were to look at what the full offer is, because it's a brownfield site in any stretch. It's not going to impeach or impair beyond its own footprint, I don't think. So if there's buildings already there, the fact that they're going to go upwards isn't really going to affect much in the way that all these unnecessary houses that are being built, being forced upon Chippenham, which is why I think we need to retake the power to either a district or a borough council. In other words, that ourselves and the variety of good towns and villages in our vicinity should come together and run our own local infrastructures, building regulations, car parks. The idea that we don't have free car parks, and if we're going to have them, that we all have to pay in our poll tax, as I like to call it, is rubbish. They're dead pieces of land. They very rarely get any work done on them, and if they do, great. We as a borough or a district council would gladly have our car parks upgraded, but I'd still want to inquire about why there was millions of pounds spent on a multi-storey car park up by the Olympiad, which has little or no use. That needs to be investigated, and those people, particularly the councillors involved, need to be scrutinised, because that doesn't look like a bright idea. However, having car parks in the town centre for people to have a couple of hours free would make sense if no one had to pay for it, because they are dead pieces of land. They're just dead pieces of land. So it doesn't take any increase in parking fees. It doesn't mean that you should have it in the precept of the council tax. It should just be, actually, it's a really good idea, because it might encourage some growth within the retail and visitor attractions, because we've got a fantastic, you know, have to count our blessings. The museum in Chippenham is absolutely fantastic. There's all sorts of good things going on in Chippenham. Not most of them done by the local authority, actually, mainly done by individuals and organisations. So I don't know what's happening in your town, but you need to be looking at it. There's a lot of places that have shopping centres that, because of the change of how shops in town centres are used, it's needs must. That instead of just having a ghost town or dead shops, dead spaces, that there's rejuvenation, reinvigoration. And the one that they're proposing, Emery Gate, is a absolute improvement on what we've currently got. I don't even know how that one came about, but either way, if all the plans come together, that will be a much more attractive offer for our town centre. Some of the building that has taken place in and around, as I say, Chippenham, is very questionable. It's destroying not only the natural environment, and we are in a climate crisis, emergency, might I remind you, but it also impacts on all the local resources, all the local services that we don't have anyway, thanks mainly to the Conservatives and partly to the Liberal Democrats. So we need to rethink, what we are as a local authority, because we have a bizarre scenario where we have a non-democratic town council at Chippenham, where the officers, some of them are unnecessarily in post and being paid extortionate amounts of money to do little if they're not needed, who make decisions against the better wishes of the democratic process, because of course people would think that their local councillors would all debate various issues and then come to conclusions. That doesn't happen. What happens is, it's basically the decisions are made particularly decisions to protect the reputation and or the cushy little jobs that these people have got. They are made by the chief executive and his cronies, lackeys or whatever, not for the betterment of the people. That we don't need a chief executive in Chippenham, for instance, is something that I've been told by councillors. So I haven't come up with this idea myself. I've been fed this information by town councillors who've had enough of having a chief executive, particularly one that, if you look back about the HIF, the Housing Infrastructure Fund, that he had absolutely no right in agreeing to with, bless her, Sandy Webb, who told me this information, that it was actually not part of his job. The fact that he doesn't know what his job is actually quite concerning. So we need to have a complete rethink about how we have our local democracy. Introducing democracy would be the first part. Secondly, going on to the other things like development, building, and whatever, we should have that in the local decision-making process, not the county, certainly not the national. You already see that with the appalling decisions that Labour have already made with regard to fuel support for senior citizens is a disgrace, let alone their support of Israel and the amount of money they get from the Israel lobby. Anyway, on a nice sunny Sunday afternoon, I hope you and yours are doing well and looking to the future of a more democratic, inclusive and fairer, equitable community. And I hope the same thing can be said in yours. So, vive la independence. Vive la, viva, 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 viva life, viva you. Good luck, everyone. Go steady out there. It's a cold world. Spinning out.